It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Rahlaga. It is that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following up for you on channel today have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I am joined by Lethiwe Mdluli in Durban. Hloni Mtimkulu is in Johannesburg and Pule Letshwiti-Jones is in Pretoria. Lethiwe, let me start with you. Big developments in one of the dozens of July 2021 unrest instigator cases. Mdumiseni Zuma appearing in the Pietermaritzburg Regional Court this morning and found guilty of inciting violence. What were the reasons given by the presiding officer for a guilty verdict?
Well, Masego, you'd remember that back in 2021, KwaZulu-Natal had the July unrest take place, and there were many people that were arrested for inciting the violence. And Mdumiseni Zuma is one of the first instigators to be convicted here in Pietermaritzburg. We spoke to the NPA about the case, and they basically said that they are very happy with the convictions that Zuma has gotten today. He's been found guilty on 2 charges for inciting public violence and also inciting people together and disturbing the peace. He has not been found guilty for committing arson, which is one of the charges that he was facing. You remember that back in 2021, Mdumiseni Zuma, or Zuma rather, actually filmed himself and distributed a video while he was at the Brookside Mall here in Pietermaritzburg, where he was encouraging people to come to the mall and destroy it. This was done on the eve of the looting, and the next day we saw the Brookside Mall going up in flames. So the courts did say that even though the people did go there and burn down the mall, he wasn't guilty for that, but rather guilty for inciting public violence. We spoke to the NPA, of course, about the charges and their reaction to this, and this is what they had to say.
So he was convicted on contravening two sections of the Riotous Assemblies Act. The one is to incite people to gather and disturb the peace, and the other is to incite people to commit public violence. With regards to the charge of arson, he was acquitted on that charge, and the state found, well, actually in the state's address prior to the judgment today, the prosecutor had said that that charge actually is a duplication of the second and the first charges.
And Hloni, you're following up on a post-bank technical glitch that is hampering on social grant beneficiaries accessing their monies. What have you witnessed on the ground so far? People still stranded?
Yeah, Masego, since Tuesday, pensioners have come through here. Then on Wednesday, it was the disability grant, and then yesterday, it was the child grant that people have been coming here to access or try to access their grants for September, and that just has not happened. We heard that there was a glitch in the system. There was money that was paid through, but reversals had to be done because of some glitch in the system. We don't quite understand the nature of this glitch in the system. Even though Post Bank, who carries through the funds on behalf of SASSA, they've said that these issues were resolved. They said on Wednesday that they are aware of the problems and that they are resolving the issues. Yesterday, they said that the transactions are operating optimally. But as you can see, I'm going to just move out of shot. It's not the case. We are at the Lenasia Post Office, where people have been waiting since early this morning, from 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning that they've been here. This is for some of them day 4 that they've had to come here, and they still have not had luck. To add to it, Masego, there has been load shedding or a power cut of some sort here, and then they had to then wait until 12:30 to receive services. So people have been here, they haven't been helped. It's only now in the last 30 minutes or so that things have been able to move. Just to tell you, we know that about 5.2 million rand, according to Post Bank, people access the permanent social grants, and of those 5.2 million people, 3.2 million access the child grants, 1.7 million access the old age grants, and then 400,000 access the disability and other grants. of that number, for the disability and the old age grant, it's an amount of 2,080 rand, Masego. And then the child grant is 500 rand, and there's an additional top-up amount of 250. So just in the past few days, they have not been able to access that funding. They haven't had proper communication in terms of what is actually going on. They've been coming in and out of these places, not just the post office to access Post Bank, but they've been to Boxer, they've been to ShopRite, they've been to Pick n Pay, and they've just been taken from pillar to post in terms of what is going on. But the bottom line is they don't have the 2,080 rand for the disability grant and the old age grant, and they also don't have the 500 rand for the child grant. Let us hear just from some of the older people, the old age pension grants that they have been raising for, in terms of what they have been told about what is going on.
Since Tuesday, angitholanga ngikhole eShoprite mina yase Gardens. Asithola baye bathi nje basichekela bathi ayikho imali kakange. And then ke saya kuma ATM sayuzama khona eGardens. Ngihlala khona mina eProtea South. Bathi no ayikho imali ayingenanga imali.
From Tuesday esifuna imali. Now Wednesday sisi. Namabhanki ngichekile. Ayikho. Manje ayikho bathi size futhi next week Tuesday. Izilambile nabantwana abanakudla. Ngapha sikoleta abantu.
Kusukela Tuesday siza lana. Izolo mangimabuza ukuthi njengoba ngibhalise imali yasebank bathi imali yami ayikho la, mangifike ebank bathi ngibuye lana ngizothatha imali yami, mangifela bangitshela ukuthi imali ayikho enesilambile nabantwana, mangithumela kwenye indawo anginamali yokugibela khona manje.
A very sad situation that we find ourselves in again, Hloni. But to the capital now, Pule, the municipal workers' strike is starting to have an even worse effect on residents. The city and SAMU not seeming to find a solution is actually hampering on citizens. You spoke to Sirius Brink earlier today. What is he doing about people in Tshwane having no water?
Well, yes, Masego, essentially the 3 points coming out of our discussion with the mayor of Tshwane earlier on. One, in which he says he does not around how long the strike will take. Secondly, it's whether or not the city will be placed under administration. And thirdly, as to whether the workers from SAMU who are striking will be reinstated or not. And with the first point, of course, as to how long the strike will take, the mayor says that this unprotected strike that has now taken, it's now heading into its 6th week, has been unpredictable. They don't know how long it will carry on for, but there are measures to try and intervene and ensure they can put an end to the strike. On the issue, rather, of the city being placed under administration, there have been, of course, a lot of rumors around the Premier having to intervene, provincial government having to intervene in the city of Tshwane. But of course, the mayor says that he has not been made aware or has not received any directives or communique from the Gauteng provincial government as to what will happen next, and with them having plans to place the city under administration. And of course, thirdly, around the dismissed workers of SAMU, the mayor says that the status quo will remain, the workers will be dismissed, and they're not willing to have any sort of political talks or discussions around a way forward in terms of reinstating the dismissed workers. Now, with all of this being summed up, the people who are affected most are the residents. And of course, when we spoke to the residents and civic associations earlier on, they were quite disappointed in the sense that the strike still has a knock-on effect on service delivery. So they've taken a decision now to say they will not be paying for their rates and services. So I just wanted to take a listen to what one civic association representing residents had to say earlier on.
We are boycotting this rate and taxes. We are boycotting rent only for September. The reason being, we want to see after September, if they don't budge, we are going to do it continuously. We are going them only 30 days now until end of September. If they don't budge, it's going to be a continuous thing.
But is this in itself not being irresponsible? Are you not misleading people by taking this kind of action?
I'm not, because they've got 10 billion that they've stolen. Their account was hacked. They've stolen money. They know what they are doing with brown envelopes. Let them take that money and use it. Celia Brink, on his acceptance speech when he was inaugurated as a mayor, he said he's going to knock at Panyaza's doors. So let him go to Panyaza Leswifi's door and knock and ask for money, because what they are doing, they are sabotaging one another. Panyaza wants Tshwane, he wants to sabotage them. So we can see that this is a wrestling for power. We cannot suffer because of political parties.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Letshwiti-Jones, Hloni, Mtimkulu and Lethiwe Mdluli. Thank you very much, team. Let's leave it there for now.